Let's face it, who could resist a team of brainy beauties taking down bad guys? Charlie's Angels wasn't just about looks. That iconic theme song with Charlie's booming voice, Once Upon a Time, instantly hooked you into the action. Sure, some might scoff and call it fluff, but these angels weren't just eye candy. They delivered solid performances, the plots were smart and engaging, the guest stars were top-notch, and well, the angels themselves were undeniably glamorous. So, what became of these incredible crime fighters after they hung up their disguises? Let's find out. Farah Faucet as Jill Monroe. Jill Monroe was one of the original team members at the Charles Townsend Detective Agency. After leaving her position there, she became a successful race car driver, clinching the Grand Prix title in 1979. When Faucet moved to Hollywood at the age of 21 in 1968, Screen Gems signed her to a $350 a week contract. She began appearing in commercials for products such as Ultra Bright Toothpaste, Noxzema Skin Cream, Max Factor Cosmetics, Mercury Cougar Cars, and Beauty Rest Mattresses, among others. Her early acting roles included guest appearances on The Flying Nun, 1969, and I Dream of Jeannie, 1969-70. She also made numerous other television appearances on shows like Getting Together, Owen Marshall, Counselor at Law, Mayberry RFD, and The Partridge Family. Faucet appeared in 4 episodes of The $6 Million Man alongside her husband, Lee Majors, as well as on The Dating Game and SWAT. She had a recurring role on Harry O, where she played the title character's girlfriend, Sue. She also had a notable role in the 1969 French romantic drama Love is a Funny Thing and portrayed Marianne Pringle in Myra Breckenridge, 1970. In November 2003, Faucet was set to make her Broadway debut in Bobby Boland, a tragicomic story about a former Miss Florida. However, the production was canceled during its preview performances, and Faucet was reportedly vibrating with frustration at the producer's unexpected decision. This came shortly after the same producer had closed an off-Broadway show she had been supporting. Faucet continued her television career, appearing in made-for-TV movies and popular series such as Ally McBeal, 4 episodes of Spin City, and 4 episodes of The Guardian. Her role on the latter earned her a 3rd Emmy nomination in 2004. Faucet passed away from anal cancer at 2:28 a.m. PDT on June 25, 2009, at the age of 62, at St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California, with Ryan O'Neal and Alana Stewart by her side. David Doyle as John Bosley. John Bosley, also known as Bosley 001, was a private investigator who worked with Charlie for at least 5 years before 1976. He expanded the Townsend Agency into international branches before retiring in 2019. After his retirement, Bosley devised a plan to use the Angels to gain full control over Project Callisto, aiming to surpass the influence of his late superior, Charlie Townsend. Born in Lincoln, Nebraska, Doyle graduated from Campion High School in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, in 1947. His maternal grandfather, John Fitzgerald, was a notable railroad builder and banker in Nebraska. His younger sister, Mary, 1931-1995, was a stage actress who passed away from lung cancer at the age of 63. Doyle appeared as a guest on the game show Match Game from 1977 to 1982. He also participated in 1 week of Password Plus in 1980, 3 weeks of Super Password, and appeared on Tattletales with his wife Ann in 1982. He voiced Grandpa Lou Pickles on the Nickelodeon animated series Rugrats from 1991 until his death, after which Joe Alasky took over the role. In addition to his television work, Doyle had a career in stage acting. He played Orgon in the 1964 premiere of Richard Wilbur's translation of Tartuffe at the Fred Miller Theater in Milwaukee. His sister Mary played the maid, Doreen, in that same production. His New York stage credits included Beg, Borrow, or Steal, Something About a Soldier, Here's Love, I Was Dancing, and a revival of South Pacific. Doyle was married twice. In 1956, he married his first wife, Rachel, with whom he had a daughter, Leah, born 1961. Rachel died in 1968 after a fall from a staircase. The following year, while performing in a revival of South Pacific, Doyle met Ann Nathan, a singer and dancer, and they married shortly afterward. Doyle passed away from a heart attack in Los Angeles, California, on February 26, 1997, at the age of 67. Kate Jackson as Sabrina Duncan. Sabrina was one of the founding members of the Charles Townsend Detective Agency and served as the team leader. She held this position for about 3 years before resigning to marry and start a family. In 1975, Jackson met with producers Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg to discuss her contractual obligation to star in another television series for Spelling-Goldberg Productions following the cancellation of her previous show. Goldberg informed her about a series available because every network has passed on it, titled The Alley Cats. Spelling asked Jackson to suggest a new title, and she proposed Charlie's Angels, after noticing a picture of 3 female angels on the wall behind him. In 2004, the television film Behind the Camera, the unauthorized story of Charlie's Angels aired, featuring actress Lauren Stamile as Jackson. In August 2006, Jackson, along with Farah Faucet and Jacqueline Smith, made a surprise appearance at the 58th Primetime Emmy Awards to honor the late Angels creator Aaron Spelling. Jackson's final acting role to date was in 2007 as the mother of FBI agent Emily Prentice on Criminal Minds. In August 2008, she appeared as a guest judge on Jacqueline Smith's Bravo reality series Sheer Genius, where she helped update the original trio's iconic hairstyles. On August 3, 2010, Gallery Books announced a deal to publish Jackson's memoirs, initially expected in 2011. However, the release has been delayed multiple times, with the most recent update setting a tentative release date for 2 days before 2021. Jackson has not been involved in film or television since 2009. In May 2010, Jackson filed a lawsuit against her financial advisor, Richard B. Francis, claiming his actions resulted in a loss of over $3 million, $4.2 million today, and led to her financial ruin. An undisclosed settlement was reached in December 2010. In August 2023, Jackson made a rare public appearance at a wedding hosted by Jacqueline Smith for her son Gaston in Los Angeles. Shelly Hack as Tiffany Wells. Tiffany Wells, a beloved character from the iconic series Charlie's Angels, was portrayed by the talented Shelly Hack. Her introduction in the 4th season premiere, titled Love Boat Angels, seamlessly weaved her into the narrative through a clever crossover with the popular ABC show, The Love Boat. Hack's journey to stardom began as a teen fashion model, gracing the cover of Glamour magazine in her inaugural gig. She then skyrocketed to fame as the face of Revlon's Charlie perfume in the mid-1970s, a role she maintained until the early 1980s. During her tenure, the fragrance reigned as the world's top-selling scent, solidifying Hack's status as one of the era's million-dollar faces in the beauty industry. Her name resonated with the public, and she joined the elite league of 1970s supermodels, known for their lucrative deals and widespread recognition. Demonstrating her versatility, Hack took on a range of starring and supporting roles. She shared the screen with Annette O'Toole and Meredith Baxter Birney in the 1981 television adaptation of the comedy-drama stage play Vanities. The production, aired on HBO's Standing Room Only series, delved into the lives, loves, and enduring friendship of 3 Texas cheerleaders from high school to post-college graduation. Beyond her acting prowess, Hack ventured into civic duties, serving as a voting registration and polling station supervisor during the pivotal 1997 elections in Bosnia-Herzegovina. She played a pivotal role in producing the country's first-ever televised presidential debates, including those held in Sarajevo, Mostar, and 2 in Banja Luka. Furthermore, Hack joined the ranks of the Pacific Council on International Policy, PCIP, a prestigious organization dedicated to global engagement through independent and nonpartisan initiatives. On a personal note, she has been married to film director and university professor Harry Weiner since 1990, and they share a daughter, Devin Rose Weiner, born the same year. Cheryl Lad as Chris Monroe, Christine Chris Monroe, one of the iconic sextet of private eyes in the 1976-1981 TV series Charlie's Angels, was portrayed by the talented Cheryl Lad. Cheryl Lad, born Cheryl Jean Stoppelmoor on July 12, 1951, in Huron, South Dakota, was the second daughter of waitress Dolores and railroad engineer Marion Stoppelmoor. Post-high school, she toured with the band The Music Shop, performing across the Midwest before settling in Los Angeles in 1970. Lad initially set her sights on a music career in Hollywood, but her path diverged as she began landing non-singing roles in commercials and TV shows. She appeared as a guest star on popular series such as The Rookies, The Partridge Family, Policewoman, and The Muppet Show, among others. On April 17, 2010, Lad and her fellow angel Jacqueline Smith were honored with the 2010 TV Land Pop Culture Award for Charlie's Angels. Lad has maintained a strong presence in television, including appearances in the Hallmark Channel movie Love's Everlasting Courage, 2011, a guest role on NCIS, and playing Sarah Walker's mother on Chuck. Lad embraced a new challenge in 2022, joining season 31 of Dancing with the Stars. She and her partner, Louis Van Amstel, dazzled their way to the third week of the competition. Her personal life includes a marriage to actor David Ladd, son of Alden Ladd, from 1973 to 1980. They have a daughter, Jordan Ladd, who also pursued acting. Ladd retained her married name even after their divorce. In 1981, she wed music producer Brian Russell, gaining a stepdaughter, Lindsay Russell. Ladd also serves as a dedicated celebrity ambassador for Child Help, an organization focused on preventing and treating child abuse. Dennis Cole as Carl Hansworth. Dennis Cole portrayed Carl Hansworth in the series, and his journey in show business is quite intriguing. Hailing from Detroit, Cole embarked on his performance career in his hometown before venturing to Los Angeles in the swinging 60s. His sun-kissed golden locks and surfer physique caught the eye of publications celebrating the human form. He seamlessly transitioned from modeling and stunt work into the realm of acting. The police drama Felony Squad, which aired from 1966 to 1969, served as his breakthrough role, marking his first significant step into the spotlight. He continued to build his resume with roles in Bracken's World for the 1969 to 1970 season, playing Davy Evans and later co-starring alongside Rod Taylor in the thrilling series Bearcats in 1971. The soap opera world also welcomed him with open arms, as he portrayed Lance Prentice on The Young and the Restless from 1981 to 1982. The annual Madden Derby Eve Party, a glittering event hosted by the esteemed Anita Madden in Lexington, Kentucky, was graced by Cole's presence as a regular celebrity attendee. For several consecutive years, he accompanied the hostess herself, Anita Madden, as her esteemed escort. In 1999, Cole traded the West Coast for the sunny shores of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where he embarked on a new chapter as a real estate broker. Together with his third wife, Marjorie Cole, whom he wed in 2004, he established their own real estate company, Celebrity Realty, Inc. Unfortunately, their union ended in divorce in 2008, marred by allegations of domestic violence, which ultimately led to Cole's arrest for obstruction of justice. On November 15, 2009, Cole passed away at the age of 69 at Holy Cross Hospital in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, due to kidney failure. His final resting place is at the Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles, where his legacy continues to be remembered. Tanya Roberts as Julie Rogers. Julie Rogers is one of the 6 female fictional private detectives featured in the television series Charlie's Angels from 1976 to 1981. The character was portrayed by the late Tanya Roberts, who appeared in all episodes of Season 5. Roberts started her career as a model, appearing in TV commercials for Excedrin, Ultra Bright, Clairol, and Cool Ray sunglasses. She took on serious roles in off-Broadway productions, such as Picnic and Antigone. Additionally, she worked as an Arthur Murray dance instructor. Her film debut was in The Last Victim, 1975, followed by a role in the comedy The Yum Yum Girls, 1976. In 1977, the couple moved to Hollywood as Barry Roberts began establishing his screenwriting career. Roberts portrayed Kiri, a slave rescued by protagonist Dar, Mark Singer, in the adventure fantasy film The Beastmaster, 1982, which gained cult status. To promote the film, she appeared in a nude pictorial in Playboy, gracing the cover of the October 1982 issue. In 1998, Roberts took on the role of Midge Pinciotti in the television sitcom That 70s Show. Her performance was praised in her obituary in The Guardian, which highlighted her portrayal of a housewife becoming increasingly dissatisfied with her life. Roberts left the series after the third season in 2001 due to her husband's terminal illness, but returned for special guest appearances in the 6th and 7th seasons in 2004. On December 23, 2020, while hiking, Roberts experienced lower intestinal pain and difficulty breathing. She returned home to rest, but the following morning, she fell out of bed and was unable to get up. Her death was initially reported prematurely on January 4th, although she actually passed away that evening at the age of 71. Roberts's publicist announced her death early, and several sources mistakenly reported her age as 65. L.Q. Jones as Burdette. L.Q. Jones played the character Burdette in the series. He made his film debut in 1955 with Battle Cry, initially credited under his birth name, Justice McQueen. The character name L.Q. Jones in that film appealed to him, so he chose it as his stage name for all future acting roles. In 1955, he was also cast as Smitty Smith in 3 episodes of Clint Walker's ABC Warner Brothers Western series Cheyenne, which was the first hour-long Western on network television. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Jones appeared in numerous films. He became part of Sam Peckinpah's regular group of actors, featuring in Peckinpah's Klondike series, 1960-1961, Ride the High Country, 1962, Major Dundee, 1965, The Wild Bunch, 1969, The Ballad of Cable Hogue, 1970, and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 1973. He was often cast alongside his close friend Strother Martin, and is well remembered as the posse member and bounty hunter T.C. in The Wild Bunch. Jones also made recurring appearances on Western series such as Cheyenne, 1955, Gunsmoke, 1955, Laramie and Two Faces West, 1960-1961, as well as playing ranch hand Andy Belden in The Virginian, 1962. In the same year, he appeared as Ollie Earnshaw, a wealthy rancher searching for a bride, in the Lawman episode titled The Bride. Jones was cast in the military drama series Men of Annapolis, the CBS Western Johnny Ringo, and the NBC Western Jefferson Drum. He made 2 guest appearances on Perry Mason, including roles as con artist and murder victim Charles B. Barnaby in The Case of the Lonely Heiress, 1958, and as Edward Lewis in The Case of the Badgered Brother, 1963. Jones was a practicing Methodist and a registered Republican. He passed away from natural causes on July 9, 2022, at his Hollywood Hills home in Los Angeles at the age of 94. Denny Miller as Ed Fellows. Towering at 6'4", Denny Miller wasn't just another actor. This Indiana native was a star basketball player at UCLA, following in his father's athletic footsteps. While working as a mover to pay his college dues, fate intervened. A talent scout spotted him on Sunset Boulevard, and Miller landed a contract with MGM. Denny became the first blonde Tarzan in a low-budget 1959 film, leveraging footage from past Johnny Weissmuller movies. Though his contract with MGM lasted nearly 2 years, his Tarzan stint only amounted to 8 weeks. Undeterred, Miller built his resume with guest appearances on shows like Northwest Passage and Overland Trail. At 26, he landed a role as a rancher's son in the Laramie episode License to Kill. He also brought characters to life in Have Gun Will Travel and The Rifleman. From 1961 to 1964, Miller became a familiar face as Scout Duke Shannon on the popular series Wagon Train. After the show ended, he took on the lead role of Mike McCluskey in the sitcom Mona McCluskey. Beyond acting, Miller penned 2 books, an autobiography titled Didn't You Used to Be... What's His Name? And a book on obesity in the United States called Toxic Waste? Get to Know Sweat. Sadly, Miller was diagnosed with ALS in 2014 and passed away in Las Vegas at the age of 80. Keser Denova as Franco Cirella. Keser Denova, born Cesare Deitinger in Italy, adopted his stage name when he began acting in Rome after World War II. After appearing in the 1955 film Don Juan, he landed a contract in the United States. He appeared in movies like The Man Who Understood Women, 1959, and even auditioned for a part in Ben-Hur. His big break came in 1963 with the role of Apollodorus, Cleopatra's personal attendant, in the epic film Cleopatra. Directed by Joseph Mankiewicz and starring Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, and Rex Harrison, the film originally envisioned a larger part for Denova. He was supposed to be one of Cleopatra's lovers alongside Caesar, played by Harrison, and Mark Antony, played by Burton. However, the script was reworked and Denova's role was reduced. This is believed to be due to the real-life romance blossoming between Taylor and Burton, which became a media sensation. The following year, Denova played Elvis Presley's rival for both Anne Margaret and a racing victory in Viva Las Vegas, 1964. In 1967, Denova appeared in the short-lived TV series Garrison's Gorillas. 2 of his most memorable roles came later, the mafia boss Giovanni Cappa in Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets, 1973, and the corrupt mayor Carmine DePasto in the comedy classic National Lampoon's Animal House, 1978. Tragically, Keser Denova passed away from a heart attack in 1992 at the age of 66. He was attending a meeting for the Foreign Language Film Committee at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences headquarters in Los Angeles when it happened. Norman Alden as Jake Barnett. Norman Alden played Jake Barnett. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Alden appeared in numerous television series. In 1958, he made a guest appearance on the CBS sitcom Mr. Adams and Eve. That same year, and in 1959, he was featured in 3 episodes of ABC's The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. Between 1959 and 1962, he had 6 guest starring roles on Jackie Cooper's CBS sitcom drama Hennessy, where he often portrayed Seaman Pulaski. In 1959 and 1960, Alden appeared as Corporal Lucius Grundy in 15 episodes of the series Not for Hire. From 1959 to 1961, he played various roles across 9 episodes of NBC's crime drama, The Lawless Years. In 1961, he was cast as Shad Welty in the Bronco episode titled Ordeal at Dead Tree, part of the ABC Warner Brothers Western series starring Ty Hardin. Alden's other notable roles include Lou the Mechanic in a long-running series of AC Delco advertisements, Professor Frank Heflin in Electra Woman and Dyna Girl, and both Aquaman and Green Arrow in the animated series Super Friends. He also appeared in 2 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show and portrayed Major Truman Landon in Tora, 1970. Additionally, he voiced Sir Kay in Disney's 1963 film The Sword in the Stone and Kranix in the 1986 film The Transformers, the Movie. From 1970 to 1971, Alden played Tom Williams on My 3 Sons. He also took on the role of Sergeant Krebs in the 1966 Hogan's Heroes episode Happiness is a Warm Sergeant. In 1986, Alden arrived at the taping of Small Wonder only to discover that the episode had been co-written by his cousin, Jack Gross. Alden passed away from natural causes at the age of 87 on July 27, 2012, in Los Angeles. Soono as Leighton Torres. Soono, the talented actor who portrayed Leighton Torres in the series, led a remarkable life both on and off the screen. He was born on June 29, 1932, in Mokpo, South Korea, during a period of Japanese occupation. He received his high school education in Gwangju and later attended Yonsei University in the bustling city of Seoul. In the brief window between the end of Japanese rule in 1945 and the onset of the Korean War in 1950, Oh and his family immigrated to the land of opportunity, the United States. He continued his academic pursuits at the University of Southern California and eventually obtained a Master of Fine Arts from the prestigious UCLA. Oh's talent shone brightly on Broadway, where he was part of the original cast of Stephen Sondheim's acclaimed musical Pacific Overtures. He was an early member of the East-West Players, an Asian-American theater group that first took the stage in 1965. His passion for promoting Asian representation in the arts led him to found the Korean-American theater group Society of Heritage Performers in 1995, which later evolved into the Lodestone Theater Ensemble. Since 2005, Oh has been sharing his wealth of knowledge as a chair professor at the Seoul Institute of the Arts. On April 4, 2018, the world mourned the loss of this incredible artist, as Oh passed away peacefully in Los Angeles at the age of 85 after a valiant battle with Alzheimer's disease. Dick Sargent as Avery. Dick Sargent played Avery in the series. Following his debut in Prisoner of War, 1954, Sargent appeared in several feature films, including The Great Locomotive Chase, 1956, with Fess Parker and Bernardine, 1957, where he portrayed Sanford Fofo Wilson. Sargent also featured in the 1959 film Operation Petticoat starring Cary Grant and the Ghost and Mr. Chicken, 1966, with Don Knotts. He was a regular in 3 short-lived TV comedies, One Happy Family, 1961, Broadside, 1964, and The Tammy Grimes Show, which lasted only 4 episodes on ABC in 1966. From 1969 to 1972, Sargent played Darren Stevens in Bewitched, a role he had initially declined, taking over from the ailing Dick York. In 1975, he appeared on Tattletales alongside Fanny Flagg. In his later career, Sargent acted in the crime drama Hardcore, 1979, as Wes DeJong, Jake Van Dorn's rigid brother-in-law, and in the sci-fi horror film Parts the Clonus Horror, 1979, as Dr. Jameson. He also appeared as Sheriff Grady Bird in 2 episodes of The Dukes of Hazzard during the 1979-1980 season. In 1990, he made a guest appearance as himself in an episode of Columbo. During the mid-1980s, he secured a regular role as Richard Preston, a widowed father, on the TBS sitcom Down to Earth, and was also featured in the fantasy comedy Teen Witch, 1989. Throughout the 1980s, Sargent worked with actress Sally Struthers as an advocate for the Christian Children's Fund, aiding children in developing countries. He was also involved in charitable activities for the Special Olympics, World Hunger, AIDS Project Los Angeles, and the American Foundation for AIDS Research. Diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1989, Sargent's condition initially showed promise for treatment. However, the cancer continued to spread, and by early 1994, he was seriously ill. He passed away from the disease on July 8, 1994, at the age of 64. Lynn Marta as Linda. They say Lynn Marta played the role of Linda in a show. Marta's acting career began way back in 1966 on an episode of a funny show called Gidget. She was a constant presence on a variety program called The Lloyd Thaxton Show, and also on a show with different stories each week called Love, American Style, from 1969 to 1974. Born in Somerville, New Jersey, on October 30, 1945, Marta was one of 2 daughters born to George Marta, whose family was originally from Italy, and his wife, Ruth. From 1968 to 1976, Marta was married to another TV actor named Brick Houston, who passed away in 2018. In 1983, a magazine called People said that Marta and actor David Soul had a relationship where they could see other people. The article explained that even though David and Lynn lived together during the time of Starsky and Hutch, they also spent time with other people. Marta was there when actress Rebecca Schaeffer was murdered in 1989. Sadly, Marta passed away from cancer in Los Angeles on January 11, 2024, at the age of 78. Jacqueline Smith as Kelly Garrett. Kelly was a key original member of the Charles Townsend Detective Agency, serving there for at least 5 years. When Sabrina left the agency to focus on her family in 1979, Kelly stepped in as the Angels team leader. After Charlie's passing, Kelly took over the Townsend Agency and used a voice simulator to impersonate Charlie, preserving his legacy. Smith's aspirations were in modeling and acting, and she secured roles in television commercials and print advertisements, including one for Listerine mouthwash. In 1968, she auditioned for the role of Victoria Winters on the ABC daytime series Dark Shadows, but did not get the part, which went to Kate Jackson. The two did not meet until Smith auditioned for Charlie's Angels, a show Jackson had already been cast in after pitching the idea to producers Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg. In 1985, Smith starred in the film Deja Vu, directed by her then-husband, Tony Richmond. The following year, she played the lead role in Christine Cromwell, a San Francisco-based mystery series that lasted only 1 season. That same year, she was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Smith has had 4 marriages. Her first was to actor Roger Davis, 1968-1975. She then married Dennis Cole, an actor who appeared on Charlie's Angels in 1977 and 1978. The couple divorced in 1981, and Cole's son from a previous marriage, Joe Cole, was murdered in 1991 during a robbery, a case that remains unsolved. In 1981, Smith wed filmmaker Tony Richmond, with whom she had 2 children, Gaston, born 1982, and Spencer Margaret, born 1985, before their divorce in 1989. Since 1997, Smith has been married to Houston cardiothoracic surgeon Brad Allen. She was treated for breast cancer in 2003 and appeared in the 2010 documentary 1 a Minute, which focuses on breast cancer. Wow, can you imagine? It's been more than 4 decades since this incredible group of actors ruled television. They were so popular that they even cracked the Nielsen ratings top 10 for the first 2 seasons. Who stole the show for you as your favorite angel during the show's 5-year run? Are there any specific episodes that stick out in your mind? Do you think any of the movies based on the show captured the magic of the original? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.